This is a short video for our northern gardening friend Peter, who makes some nice videos for us to look at, all us tropical plant enthusiasts or hobbyists, whatever we call us. This is just a short video, a few clips from inside my lean-to slash greenhouse. It's actually still under construction. I've still got some work to do. It's just outside my kitchen. Yeah, it's a nice little space, but for now, actually this summer it's actually acted more of a greenhouse, just because I needed a little bit of space for some other construction going on in my garden. But they'll be going off into the heated greenhouse soon. This is a lemongrass, as you can see. It's a few years old. Both of these are a few years old. Yeah, they grow nice. It's nice to have a fresh supply of lemongrass because it's so expensive in the shops and I don't often have it when I want it, so it's nice to just go outside and pick it. Prickly pear. This is the larger type. Let's have a cool smaller type here, which legend says this pad alone came all the way from Cyprus last year, but I can neither confirm or deny. However, in one season it's put on all this growth. It's like your ordinary prickly pear, just smaller. It gets these much smaller pads on it, and it also gets these lovely red fruits. It's not fruited for me, this one, but the bush it came from had lots of tasty little red fruits on it. Got a little array of chilies and fig plants. There's a pandan here, Pandan officialis, I think it's called. I really like it. It's a nice plant to grow. Very tender, but it's still surviving in my conservatory at the moment. Gets these nice little aerial roots on it and gives off babies occasionally that, if you know how to treat it gently, you can propagate those. Have a few more. Variegated citrus. Some nice Scotch bonnets. These are a Jamaican type. This is another Jamaican type. They get very flat little Scotch bonnets on them, almost like a flying saucer shape, and they're quite tasty. Obviously very hot. The pineapple up there, still yet to finish the glazing on that side. Over here have lots of little black African chilies. They turn red when they're fully ripe. Some sweet peppers. These are a very hot type of chili here. Just picked most of them off actually, but it was supposed to be a Scotch bonnet, but clearly it's not. It's that one. It was supposed to be another variety from an internet-based company I bought. They're not Scotch bonnet, as I say, but they're incredibly hot. So it's difficult to know what to do with these actually, even for me, a chili lover. This is another nice type of chili. This is almost heatless, but it does have a zing to it. This one's about 3 years old. Each autumn I chop it down, almost put it into hibernation. Next year it grows up again. It's called cachucha. They do actually go red, so it's on the way to ripening its second crop. The first crop I picked around, gosh, I think it was around July time, and then it shot up and produced a load more chilies, so I'll have those to enjoy soon. This is my other prickly pear, considerably bigger than the other one. You don't see many that big in this country, but there probably are some around. Well, at least this is my one. I like those. Give a very unusual look. And they're actually very hardy. This one hasn't been kept indoors for about 3 years. It's actually just had some plastic thrown over it with a little bit of gentle heat, only if temperatures got really low. And yeah, it's doing okay. Got some more citrus here, pink grapefruit, lemons, calamondins, clementine there. Some little figs in the mini greenhouse. Here's another citrus I thought you'd like. This is not your typical Persian lime or bear's lime. This one I believe is called Limetta. It gets much larger And I think in India it's the one they use for drinks. As you can see, it's got quite a nice sized fruit here, but it's going to get considerably larger. That probably won't be ready till the spring, but it's a lovely little plant sitting next to one of my figs. These are Goutte d'Or. They're probably ready, but I think as the problem you had, Peter, we don't get many warm days like this now this time of year. We just need more heat. So the Barber crop are finished, and these are the main crop, and they're not so good just because they're ripening in cooler weather. This will go in the greenhouse. Well, actually, it will sort of stay outside for most of the winter, but then very early spring, late winter, I'll cover it in my greenhouse with lots of others that I want to ripen early. And they will wake up early because they're feeding extra warmth from the greenhouse, and that will give me a much earlier crops. Yeah, that's a good trick to do that. Oh, next to it, curry leaf. Get lots of lovely fresh curry leaves off of this. Beautiful. Here's some of my bigger figs here. I think there's one under here. Yeah, which looks like it's almost ripe. Some of the others are fairly large, but they don't stand much chance ripening. Now, at least the sugars won't congeal and become as sweet in the cooler weather. They do prefer the heat. I'm going to pick this one actually because you can see it's getting a bit of cracking. It's probably about as perfect as it will get. This one's called Brunswick. It's quite a big fig, but it's in a pot. I keep them in the pot just so I can move them around. They don't grow as fast in pots, but if you get enough of them, you still get fruits. So you get more pots, more growth that way, rather than a few in the ground. You just can't control them, so then you rely on that Barber crop. This again is a main crop from Brunswick. I'll pick that one off and open that up in a minute to show you. Next to it are the main crop on this one. Doesn't go so well. This is Delphine, another big plant, but I don't even know how old this is. This could be 15 years old, something like that. I tried to keep most of my other ones considerably smaller because they're more tricky to move around the greenhouse. Thought I'd show you a couple of others. Citrus around the corner in my garden. This is grapefruit Red Rio. It's only been, this was brought to the UK last year, and it was basically just a stem with a few, nearly everything had been cut off actually to bring it back to the UK. But most citrus I find quite like that. If it was established and I repotted it in there, it wouldn't have put on such a percentage of growth. But I find, in my experience, that when cut back harshly when planted, they really bounce back. They benefit from that. And after planting an orchard also, I found that the plants that were planted and left as they were without any pruning didn't do as well as others that actually some sheep got to and pruned for me. They're, in the last few years, they've overtaken the ones that weren't pruned and done so much better. So yeah, they seem to like to just get their roots off. They don't need much top growth, and then they really repay you by throwing out plenty more. Got a nice little what's this one? Kaffir lime. It was facing away. I'm trying to get the sun to one side of it. But yeah, this gives little fruits, and you can use those. You use the leaves generally in cooking, Thai cooking or Asian cooking. They really give it that Thai flair. But if you don't want to use the leaves, when the fruits are there, I normally let them ripen and just grate the zest into Thai dishes, curry dishes, and it gives A lovely flavour. Tastes exactly the same as the leaves, but it saves me plucking the leaves off, disturbing the plant. And there's another fig here. This one is Blanca Gota de Mel. Yeah, it's a nice little half standard. It's just dropped its latest fruits, so I'm leaving on these. There's a few little pea-sized ones here that will ripen next year, and if that one doesn't, it will throw loads more Brabacop from these buds here. Yeah, that's a nice fig. Blanca Gota de Mel.